poem. How many people thought it was funny? Rhetoric, I think it's funny. In the first two lines of the poem, he says, "My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red." So what tone is it established in the first two lines of the poem?
Insulting.
Insulting, yes. It's not even just like critical, it's insulting. What else? Negative, critical, insulting, yes. Who is the poem's audience? The mistress, and people are like, this dude writes about love poetry and all of these beautiful women, and he's walking around with this totally plain woman. So he's also, it's like an explanation. Like, you people think that because she doesn't adhere to this perfect ideal of beauty, you know, that she's not beautiful. But to me, not only is she beautiful, but I wouldn't change or alter or, you know, not be authentic about the way she looks, because it would be taking away from what I love about her. Although he gets to that in a rather insulting way. The tone develop as the first three stanzas unfold. Does it increase, intensify, or does it kind of dilute? It increases and intensifies. He just gets more and more insulting as the poem goes. However, in the heroic couplet, it changes to what?
Despite her flaws, he loves her.
Despite her flaws, he loves her, and there's admiration. Like, he admires her stinky breath and wiry hair. Like, those are the things that make her her. Exactly. The information that it was given there accounts for the speaker's change in tone, is that he loves all of the things about her that make her who she is. Do you think he exaggerated her flaws? I hope so. I hope he did. Does this information, yeah, exactly. Well, that's the part that you just kind of can't get past, like the stinky breath. Does this information justify the rest of the poem?
I think so.
You think so? If you were the mistress, you would be like, oh, it's okay, he loves me, stinky breath and all. Yeah. How do you think the mistress felt about the poem?
I hated it.
Yeah, she was probably like, my
She
breath
made it
is...
to the end. I think she-
Yeah, but then like, you get confused. You're like, but you just told me I'm gross and I trod upon the ground and I have gray boobs. Like, thanks a lot, buddy. The entire poem is loosely written using what types of figures of speech? Metaphor and simile, yeah. They're not like direct, but they're loosely categorized as that. With goddess and go, we have what? Alliteration, and with hair and wires, that R makes a what? Constants, good. And then our second poem. It's ironic that the poem is written loosely as a sonnet for what reason? It's written by him, supposedly. It wasn't actually written by her, it was written by Carolyn Duffy, but who wrote the poem? Shakespeare's widow, like his deceased, his wife after he died. Speaker's audience is who? The world, yes. The world, right? And also it's kind of like an epitaph to Shakespeare as well. It's like a memory poem of him. The significance of the quote that precedes the poem is that how would people perceive his bequeathment of this second best bed to her? He must not really like her or love her that much. You know, all he left her was the second best bed. The figure of speech used in lines 3 and 4, we have, my lover's words were shooting stars which fell to earth as kisses. Metaphor, because first we have the lover's words, shooting stars, and then they turn into what? Kisses. So we have like a double metaphor there. And the significance of the guests dribbling their prose. So the guests are over in their first best bed, which apparently they reserved for people that were staying with them. And prose, as opposed to poetry, is typically very straightforward. It isn't decoration, which is kind of ironic because this poem is very whimsical and very decorative in its use of language. It's arranged in sentences, it's contained by paragraphs, and there's no line break. So prose sounds very what? Bland and boring and mundane and banal. And she's saying that, you know, the guests are not privy to this magical world they made in the second best bed. They're dribbling their prose. The word dribbling is significant as well. They're just over there being lame and pathetic while her and Shakespeare are making this magical universe in the second best bed. What is the poem's themes? What do people know about relationships that aren't involved in them? Nothing, right. And there's also a lot of thematic things about intimacy, not just like in a sexual context, but you know, the intimacy that the two of them had in their relationship. And then also, what is she doing in this poem for him? Like, he's gone and she's doing what? Defending him and mourning him. Yes, good. And then In spinning, we have two techniques used there. With the short I, we have assonance, and with the N, we have consonants. Good. With dreamed and bed, we have that D sound, which creates what? Consonants. Remember, that's just consonants. The assonance is not there because it's a different E sound. And then bed and best, we have two techniques used as well. We have alliteration with the B, and the short E creates assonance. Good. And then we have a lot of different tones in the poem. There's justification to the people that, misinterpret the value of the gift that he left to her. There's also a mourning sense and a nostalgic sense for him that, that he's gone. There's also like a whimsical quality to the tone as well. Like she's referencing things that don't really exist, but their relationship in the second best was so amazing that they almost created this own magical world there. All right, so the best way to learn any form is to attempt to do it yourself. And it's really fun because it's kind of like Mad Libs, for what you start out with is totally different than what you end up with because you have to adhere to a form. So a lot of people enjoy it. I give you feedback on them, but it's not like a graded assignment. It's just fun to help you learn some of the terms. So the typical arrangement of a sonnet is iambic pentameter, and when you identify the linguistic sound pattern of poetry, that's called what? The rhythm or the what? The other meter. Good. Okay, so the typical meter of a sonnet is iambic pentameter, which is 10 syllables total and 5 iambs, and those are unstressed followed by stressed beats. The typical arrangement of the rhyme scheme is every other line rhymes in the 3 quatrains, and then we have the heroic couplet in the 4th stanza. So the typical arrangement of the theme or of the development of a sonnet is in your first stanza, you introduce your subject or your metaphor. In the second one, you develop it. In the third one, you add like a twist, and then you resolve, conclude, leave a new thought, a new image in your quatrain. Now, none of that is required. You can take this to the level that you want to take it with using all of these things and keeping it in iambic pentameter. At base, try to keep the rhyme scheme and keep all of your lines about the same length. A lot of people at this level can't identify unstressed followed by stressed. With simple words, it can be easy, but then you have a word like, decoration, and it's hard sometimes to pick out what exactly is unstressed and what's stressed. So if that seems a little bit more sophisticated than what you want to aim for today, that's fine. If you want to try to do some lines in iambic pentameter, do it. It's entirely up to you. Same with this arrangement. If you want to try to adhere to that, do that. This arrangement, though, can apply to a poem about a dog, a cat, a loved one, someplace you lived, your favorite place, your truck. I mean, you can write about anything. Just think about something you have some degree of passion about, and if it's, your pet gerbil, like that's fine. Just write about something you enjoy discussing. Then, try to utilize as many of these as possible, simply because when you use them, you learn them, earn them, you learn them. Symbol, simile, these are our figures of speech, allusions, tensions. A lot of these you may inadvertently include, especially these 3. You'll find yourself using them just because you've been looking for them. You'll start to almost think that way at school. Apostrophe, addressing the poem to someone that's not here. And jamma is used a lot in sonnets for a number of reasons. One is to create ambiguity, and then the second one is to adhere to the rhyme scheme. So you don't have to end your thought with the rhyme, you can kind of bleed through to the other line. So you have about an hour. See if you can get a first draft of it done. I'll give it back to you with some feedback, and then you can type up the draft next week. Don't make it harder than it is.